Hi, it's Chris from Epix again. This is a short video explaining how to install the mobile application onto an Android device. I'll be using an Android phone for this video, however the process to get the app onto a tablet is exactly the same. Now, the best way to get the application down to the handset itself is to send it via an email link. So if you haven't already got an email account set up on the device that you can access, you'll need to set one up. Now, if it's a new handset, the best way of doing this is to simply create a new Gmail account for that handset. So it could be the operative's name, or it could just be the name of your company followed by a certain number for that device at gmail.com. Alternatively, of course, operatives could sign into their own work email addresses on the device and you could send it to that. So regardless of how you do it, you will need an email account that's accessible on the phone or the tablet. And once you're sure that you've got an email account associated to the phone that the operative can access on that device, you then need to make sure that the same email account is linked to that operative setup within our system. Now, to do that, we would step into the setup menu and usually find this under the operative setup option. We would then need to find the operative in question that we are trying to set up and then press search. Now, as we can see on the search results under the email column, currently there is no email address set. So I'll need to add that to this operative. To do that, we scroll over to the right hand side and next to the operative name that we want to change, we press the edit button. And the field we're looking for is this white box here next to email. And in there, we type the email address of the account that's accessible for this operative on the device that you're trying to set up. So as you can see, I've just put my email address in there because I want this to go to me. We then press continue to save that record, and now we'll notice when the results refresh that the email address that you've just added appears here under the email field. To send the application down to the phone, we then need to step back into the operative record by scrolling over here and pressing edit. And then further down the screen, you'll notice there is a blue email button which is next to the text for email the latest version of the PDA application to the operative. So all we do is we simply press this button, and then at the top of the screen you'll see here the green bar to indicate that an email has successfully sent to that operative. We now need to move over to the mobile device that we're going to set up the application on, but before we do, worth pointing out that we do need, when we're doing the setup for the operative on the handheld device, we need to know the operative ID to link to this person. So here, this operative, we would make a note of the number 125. Obviously, for every operative that you set up, that number will be unique and different to each person. Over on our mobile device, we now need to go into the email application where the emails are coming in for the account that we've just set up. So I will click onto our email button here, and in the inbox for this user we should now find that there is an email from the Epix Systems account where we are emailing a link from the latest PDA application. So you would click into that email and there will be a link in there which says please click here to get the latest copy of the Epix PDA application. So you need to click where it says click here. So clicking on the link, what we should now find is it will pop up with an option to download the application. It may automatically download it for you. That just depends on the setup of your own individual handset. So I'm going to press the download button here. And we can see now we've got a notification to say that that has downloaded, and I can press open from here. But also at the very top of our screen in the notification bar, we've also got a download icon as well to say that something's been downloaded. So if I pull that down, what you should now see is the mobile app has been downloaded. So we can click on it from there, or we can click on it from the link at the bottom of our page. So I'm going to pull that down and I'm going to click on that there. And we then get the prompt to ask if we want to install this. So we do, so we press install. The app is now installed, and I can either finish at this point, but obviously we would like to set it up, so what we should really do is press open, and that will then open the application at the first page you see here. Now you need to grant certain permissions to allow the app to fully function. So for each of the ones that pop up now, you need to press the allow button, otherwise what you'll find is certain functionality won't work quite the way you hope it will. So we'll press allow, and then we'll allow again, and then one more time. And this has now stepped us into our system settings on the app. Now really the only thing that we need to be concerned with on this particular screen for the majority of the time will be the operative ID field, and the number that goes in there is the number that we took from the back office system that's unique to the operative that we're setting up. So in the example that I had, my number was 125, so I would put 125 in that field there. The field for IP address, that is the URL or the website address of your system. So that would be whatever your system name is, .epicsystems.co.uk. You shouldn't have need to change this, it should automatically be in there. The only reason you might ever change this is if you're trying to connect to your test system, in which case what you would probably do is at the end of your company name there, you would probably stick a -test to allow you to connect to that. But for the majority of the time you're doing this, you won't do this, you'll simply leave that as it is. Likewise with the port number, that should automatically be set to your system's port number, so you shouldn't have need to change that either. The only thing that you might want to change is the password field, and that's the password that the operative must enter every time they open this app. It defaults to 1234, you could leave it as that, or you could get that set to be whatever you want it to be. But once you've finished on this screen, you would press the next button. Now the first time we get to the app, it will say at the top, currently registered to, and there'll be no name there. That's because we haven't yet done a dial on the system. Once you've connected this application to the back office system and it now knows that this operative belongs to this app, that will be the operative's name showing there. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to log into the app first of all using the password that was set by pressing next there, and we would then clock onto the device. If there are start of day checks or any surveys, these will not appear yet because we haven't yet done a dial. That's expected, we haven't got any data down yet because we haven't connected to base. So again, we press next. And then in doing so, this will then perform the dial. And provided all goes well, you should get a green screen that when we press next, if there are any jobs issued to that operative, then they should see those here. If I was to exit out of our app now, and come out of this completely, what we'll find now is that maybe you've got a shortcut on the desktop of the phone. So if you haven't, you can add that yourself, but if we now click on that app, we'll now see that the device is then registered to the operative name who we've just set up. If you've got any questions on anything you've just seen, or if when you're doing this you encounter any red screens or something goes wrong for you, then don't hesitate to get in touch. We'll be happy to support you through the install process.